aka Bullets, YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Lightning McQueen would start at pole position for the 25th race of 2007, where Chuck Armstrong would accidentally wreck Kevin Shiftright and himself on lap 68. Reed Sorencar and Bobby Carboni would both run out of fuel at some point in the race. But the car that would lead the most laps is Lightning McQueen, leading for 154 laps, including pole. And of course, he goes on to win the 25th race of 2007 with rookie Juan Pablo Montoya coming second this race, Cal Weathers finishing third, Kevin Carvick fourth, and his teammate Jeff Burnton rounding out the top five. Dale Earnhardt Jr. would start at pole position for the 26th race of 2007, where Ralph Carlo would accidentally wreck a bunch of cars, and Michael Cuttrick would be out because of an engine failure on lap 194. Kurt Buschtire would lead for the most laps, leading for 175 laps this race, but he would only lose by 10 feet to Lightning McQueen, who would go on to win the 26th race of 2007, with of course Kurt Buschtire finishing second, Dale Earnhardt Jr. third, Denny Carlin fourth, and rounding out the top five is Jeff Gorvette. Clint Bowcar will start at pole position for the 27th race of 2007, where Floyd Mulvihill would accidentally wreck Ken Schrader, Brian Vickers, and himself. Tony Revs, Casey Gears, David Stremrim, Bill Gears, and Johnny Spinner would all be out at some point of the race because of an engine failure. Cal Weathers would lead for the vast majority of laps, leading for 392 of them, but Jeff Gorvette will end up being the winner of the race, winning the 27th race of 2007, where Denny Carlin would finish second, Lightning McQueen third, Cal Weathers fourth, and Brian Vickers rounding out the top five. Sage Vanderspin would start at pole position for the 28th race of 2007, where Todd Marcus would accidentally wreck four other cars and somehow not wreck himself. But then he would be wrecked out on lap 355 by Kevin Shiftright, who says this, and no, your grandpa wouldn't have done that. Maury Clutchburn would lead for the most laps, leading for 186 of them, but Martin Truex Jr. will emerge as the winner of this race, winning his very first Piston Cup race, and also being the first car that's the number one to win a race since 2001. Which of course means he's the winner of the 28th race of 2007. Mike Yankee Jr. would finish second, Maury Clutchburn third, Ryan Newcar fourth, and rounding out the top five is Ernie Gearson. Lightning McQueen would start at pole position for the 29th race of 2007, where Slider Petrolsky would accidentally cause a crash after his oil spilled on lap 181. Why? Kurt Buschtire would lead for the most laps, leading for 176 of them, but somehow Mike Yankee Jr. would emerge as the winner of the 29th race of 2007, with Ernie Gearson coming second after leading 29 laps. Greg People would finish third, Clint Bowcar fourth, and rounding out the top five is Lightning McQueen. Jeff Gorvette would start at pole position for the 30th race of 2007, where Eugene Komareski would wreck too many cars. Why? Casey Gears would once again dance on the track on lap 292. How? But his teammate Jeff Gorvette would lead for the most laps, leading for 168 of them, including pole. But Lightning McQueen would win the 30th race of 2007, where Ryan Newcar would finish second, Jeff Gorvette would finish third, Darren Ledfoot fourth, and Cal Weathers rounding out the top five. And Kyle Buschtire would finish sixth, but he had something to say. He was pretty upset. Hall Angus would somehow start at pole position for the 31st race of 2007, where he'd lead only one lap. Eugene Komareski would wreck Kurt Buschtire and himself out on lap 17. And Kurt Buschtire's this to say, Kurt Buschtire, don't say that word! David Gillicar did not say a bad word, but he somehow avoided Jeff Burnton jumping over him. And now Jeff Burnton is out on lap 142. How did this happen? Cal Weathers would lead for the most laps, leading for 176 of them. And he'd lead for the last 25 laps. But on the final lap, Kevin Shiftright would overtake him to win the 31st race of 2007, where Mike Yankee Jr. would score yet another runner-up finish. Matt Carswell would finish third, Cal Withers fourth, and Darren Ledfoot rounding out the top five. And this race would have a photo finish, with Matt Carswell helping Kevin Shiftright win the race. Lightning McQueen would start at pole position for the 32nd race of 2007 where, oh no! The Mean Green car is back! And he wrecks too many cars! Particularly those that have qualified for less than 10 races this season. And David Raycar. Jeff Gorvette would lead for the most laps, leading for 241 of them. But he would only lose by 15 feet to Lightning McQueen, who would go on to win the 32nd race of 2007, getting his 25th career victory. Jeff Gorvette would finish second place as a result. Darren Ledfoot would finish third, Kevin Shiftright fourth, and Tony Gassworth rounding out the top five. But once again, Jeff Gorvette will start at pole position, but this time for the 33rd race of 2007 where the Mean Green car once again DNQ'd! Hooray! And Piston Cup fans must be excited that the Mean Green car failed to qualify for 3 races this season. Now let's see how peaceful the race is, with Lightning McQueen leading the most laps with only 42. This race also saw 98 lead changes and 23 different leaders. The car that would lead the last lap is Darren Ledfoot, who would go on to win the 33rd race of 2007. With Krusty Rotor surprisingly finishing second, Carl Edwards finished third, Maury Clutchburn fourth, and Kevin Shiftright rounding out the top five. Kurt Buschtire would start at pole position for the 34th race of 2007 where Jax would go airborne on lap 32 because of Kurt Buschtire. Hooray! You wrecked the Mean Green car. We're happy that you wrecked him, but don't say those words, Kurt Buschtire. And Hollingus would get off the track on lap 300, being replaced by his backup, Turner, who would get onto the track on lap 300. Cal Weathers would once again lead the most laps, leading for 61 laps this race, and Darren Ledfoot would be 8th as of the start of the final lap, but in the performance that impressed the president, he would go on to win the 34th race of 2007, getting back-to-back wins. The car that would finish second is Jeff Gorvette. The car that would finish third is Matt Carswell. Kevin Shiftright would finish fourth, and Cal Weathers would round out the top five. Lightning McQueen would start at pole position for the 35th race of 2007, where Jack Hicks would wreck too many cars. Why? Jeff Gorvette would go on to lead the most laps, leading for 191 of them. But once again, Lightning McQueen would win a race, but this time it's the 35th race of 2007. Tony Gassworth would finish second this race. David Raycar finished third, Jeff Gorvette fourth, and Johnny Spinner somehow rounding out the top five. Now onto the cars that can win the Piston Cup, being Lightning McQueen and Jeff Gorvette. These two have traded the points lead back and forth all season, but Lightning McQueen reclaimed the points lead after his victory in the 35th race of 2007. But unfortunately, these five, among many other cars, are unable to win the Piston Cup this season. But these guys could realistically compete for third place. But Bobby Swift, who is not on this image, had a great rookie season, being the next car after these five: Tony Gassworth, Matt Carswell, Brick Yardley, Cal Weathers, and Kevin Shiftright. And as for usual for cars that get to be in this image, they had a good season.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
Who do you think will win the 2007 Piston Cup? The 2007 Dynaco 400 video will not be coming out tomorrow, but it will be coming out very soon.